Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I have got some Cricut projects to share with you. I'm going to be creating 5 Easter cards today, and I'm using the new Close to My Heart Daisy Meadows cartridge. So I'm going to do this in 2 parts. The first one is going to be a cutout bunny card, and then the second part will be 4 Easter egg cards. And I'm cutting this into 2 because I don't want these videos to run too long, but I do want to take you through the full process of how I am setting up my images in order to create these cards and get everything cut out properly. So I'm going to go to insert image, and then I have gone ahead and filtered things through purchase. Once you purchase the cartridge, I will link that for you below so you can easily find it. You'll then select the purchase off to the side there under ownership. I then typed in spring, which got me the spring image that's included, clicked on the little eye, and then the view entire image set, and that will take me to everything that's included with the cartridge. From there, I grabbed my bunny, and I decided I wanted to make this 5 by 7. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the sizing there. You'll see that because it is linked together, it's actually slightly under 7, but make sure you leave that little lock clicked above the 2 sizes there to make sure that it doesn't stretch your image in any strange way. By leaving that locked, you're going to keep everything exactly the way it was intended. I then grabbed the solid layer of the bunny, duplicated that, and that's going to create the back portion of my card. Here you see I have grabbed a score line, and I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees so that I have that going horizontal rather than vertical. That's going to create the fold for my card. So here I'm adjusting the size of my score line, and I was having a bit of trouble with this here. It either wanted to go incredibly short or incredibly long. So I fooled around with that for a little bit, and then finally I just went ahead and lined it up, and I got it sort of to the area that I wanted, and then I just changed the height of that. It's reading that as the height because it's normally turned the opposite direction. So I just changed that to make it smaller, and that was much easier. And then I'm lining that up along the top there. I wanted to make sure to have that a little bit lower than the crease or that corner there where the bunny ear is, just so that I had a little bit more of a solid base when I glue this together. So I did pull that down slightly lower. Next, I want to add my message on the inside of the card. So I have typed out Happy Easter. I'm going to filter my fonts off to the side on the right hand there, and I'll only select those that have a writing option. That way I know the one that I select is going to be one that I can actually write with a pen. So I decided to go with Zigzag, and here I'm just going to go ahead and size that down, make sure it fits nicely on my bunny's tummy there. Trying to make sure I've got that nice and centered. And then I will select my bunny, my score line, and my writing. And I'm first going to group all of those together, and then I'll go to the bottom and click the attach button. And that way my machine knows to attach the score line and the writing to that bottom layer of the bunny. Now at the beginning there, I think I missed it, but that same background layer, it was originally a maroon color. I changed that to a gray. That was really the only other thing I changed about this image. I'm going to go ahead and click Make It, and now I have got all of my papers all lined up here for each of my individual cuts. So I've got the gray. We're going to cut out 2 of the white because one is going to be the back of our card, and then we have the pink, which is the middle layer. So I am using Close to My Heart cardstock. The colored cardstock is 65 pounds and the white cardstock is 80. So since I'm starting with the colored, I'm going to grab 65. I like to put a little more pressure when I do my cutting. So I always select that just to make sure I get a nice clean cut. Your machine may differ, so you can always do that by trial and error. There it's going to tell me everything that I need to have loaded in, which is just my fine point blade. And then I will go ahead and get my mat ready and take that over to my machine. Now I have found that it is a lot easier if you trim down your cardstock to the size that you need before you place it on your mat. And I know that seems like an extra step, but you are going to save yourself some cardstock because you're not going to have the curling when you peel it off of the mat. And it just makes, I think, the removal process a lot quicker. So I have grabbed my, let's see, this is Pewter cardstock. The pink I'm using is actually peach, and then the white is daisy white. So I've gone ahead here through the magic of editing. I have cut out my gray background bunny. I'll use my spatula and just peel him up off of my mat. Next is going to be my white cardstock. I like to rotate my mat in between uses. That way I'm getting a really nice full use of the entire mat. This works exactly the same. It doesn't matter which end you put into the machine. Placed on my white. And here I'm going to make a slight change because that lighter cardstock or the colored cardstock is 65 pound. Now I'm working with the thicker white. I am going to change that to 80 pound. Again, I will go ahead and add a little more pressure. And then because I have a scoring for this, I'm going to edit my tools. I don't have the scoring wheel. I have the scoring stylus. It works great for me. I haven't seen a need to get the scoring wheel, although in the future I may, and if I do, I'll let you know what I think of it. There I've got my tools lined up. Now I will go ahead and have to add in my pen. I will show you that feature in the next video. Again, I cut it out of this one just for time. I think you have seen me use that before, but I will show you how that pops up and ask you how to add that in the next half of the video. So here I will go ahead and peel away the background paper around my bunnies. You'll see there is a portion where even though I still added more pressure, it did not cut all the way through. So I'm very carefully peeling away the side here, just making sure that I don't tear anything. And then again, I will take my spatula and remove my bunnies from my mat. There are some portions where perhaps the cutouts don't come completely out. Just being really gentle with those. If they don't want to stay on the mat, that's fine. I can always pop those out later. And then again, through the magic of editing, I will remove those little extra bits. I'm going to finally place down my peach cardstock. Remember, when you go back to your machine, you're going to want to change your setting back to 65 pounds. And while that's cutting out, I'm going to go ahead and remove the extra pieces that were stuck in my white bunny here. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool there. I'm not quite sure what they call that. It's probably a pick. And actually, I think it's a weeder. It's what you would usually use for if you're doing something with vinyl. So I'm just going to make sure that I have all of these removed. Being very careful not to tear anything. I'm not so much worried about the back because that is going to be glued, but I want to make sure I still have a nice, clean, smooth edge on the front. And then lastly, around the bottom of the foot here, it just didn't cut all the way through. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim around the edge there to make that nice and clean. lastly, I will peel away the outside of my peach paper, and then again use my spatula to remove my bunny. For those of you who are new, I like to take you through as much of the full process as I can. That's why at the beginning, for those of you who have seen this or who aren't interested in that, I do give you the time so you can skip ahead to this portion where we are finally going to put everything together. Have sped this up a little bit just to save us some time, but there you can see I'm layering gray and then pink and then white, and that's going to create the top of my bunny. Just making sure that everything is nice and lined up there, all of my edges. I'll add some more art glitter glue to this top layer here and then place him down as well. Again, making sure all of my edges are nice and lined up. Here I've got the back of my card. I'm going to fold that score line down, again add some art glitter glue and press the two together. And I'll just hold that in place just for a minute or so to make sure it's nice and tight. And there we have the folding card. Now I finished this and then came back later and I thought, wouldn't it be really cute if you could add a little tail on the back of him? And I thought about cutting one out, and then I remembered that I had some pom-poms in my drawer. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. So I have grabbed some of my, I have two sizes, a small and large. I grabbed the larger of the two pom-poms for this guy. I'm going to add again a little dot of art glitter glue, and then I will hold that in place until it dries. And I think that is just perfection. It is exactly what this bunny needed. I did actually make two of these, so I'm going to give you a look of the front and back here side by side. Here are a few close-ups of the finished card. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the products I've used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.